All right, so a pretty interesting show coming your way on the 49ers Report. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of the faithful is getting ready to have a great weekend, the final weekend before the NFL regular season starts. What are we talking about today? Well, I'm really excited about this because it's interesting for a couple of reasons. Tom Brady rumors are back as there's more speculation about San Francisco's interest in him back a couple of years ago and where it's led us right now. And then also, is a Bosa bag coming? John Lynch saying some very interesting things earlier in the week about how San Francisco and this front office is working on contract negotiations. You would imagine Nick Bosa is a part of that conversation, and can he overtake and will he overtake Aaron Donald as the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL? We're going to unpack all of that, but first, if you're pumped up for 49ers football to come back next weekend, which is the start of the 2022 NFL regular season as the Niners go on the road against the Chicago Bears to open up a brand new and fresh campaign, I want you to show me by hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video. If you're not excited for the return of 49ers football, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. So I expect everybody to smash that thumbs up icon. Now we begin with Tom Brady. And to really set the foundation here, we did talk about the Niners' interest in him going all the way back to February. That video popped off, 60,000 views, but now some of those rumors are back because Michael Lombardi, former NFL front office executive who worked with Bill Walsh in San Francisco way back in the day and also alongside Bill Belichick, very well accomplished. He said on the Pat McAfee Show that Kyle Shanahan wanted to trade for Matthew Stafford before the Los Angeles Rams acquired him during that Cabo trip for Sean McVay. And after missing out on Matthew Stafford at the time, Kyle Shanahan then fell in love in the pre-draft process with Mac Jones coming out of Alabama, but people inside the Niners facility and inside that building in Santa Clara resisted it and talked Kyle Shanahan out of pursuing Mac Jones. And then obviously, San Francisco ended up drafting Trey Lance. But the offseason before, it was Kyle Shanahan, according to Michael Lombardi, who wanted to sign Tom Brady. We know what happened next and what has transpired over the last year and a half. San Francisco got talked into drafting Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan specifically, which has caused issues right now because according to Michael Lombardi, he doesn't think that Trey Lance is ready to play for a roster that's ready to compete and win a Super Bowl. And as we know earlier in the week, this would make sense coming from Michael Lombardi if the Niners don't believe that Trey Lance is ready to go because Jimmy Garoppolo is now back in the mix for this football team as a potential security blanket for the Niners moving forward. And if Trey Lance was ready to play, if he was ready to take over the starting quarterback role, flourish as a passer, and there weren't many concerns about his development and him being too ripe, would Garoppolo be back on this football team? Maybe not, as we talked about a little bit earlier this week. More from Michael Lombardi on the current quarterback predicament that San Francisco is in and how they could have avoided this back a couple years ago and over the last couple of years, to be frank. When it comes to these decisions, Lombardi said, Kyle knew. Then he got talked into Lance. Everybody is going to deny it, but certain people know it. Now, this is the residual effect of that right now because Trey Lance isn't ready to play. And on that plane ride back from Houston, Kyle understood that Lance wasn't ready to go, and he said, we have to do something about this. He may be great a year from now, or maybe even 2 years from now. Right now, he's not ready to play. And we know what happened with Tom Brady back a couple of years ago as he wanted to play for the San Francisco 49ers. Instead, he signed on and latched on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They ended up ending the regular season in a furious way, went on a historic run in the playoffs, taking down Washington, taking down Drew Brees on the road against Aaron Rodgers, and then Patrick Mahomes, they took him down in the Super Bowl, and Tom Brady was able to win his record-holding 7th Super Bowl championship. And Tom Brady has had a lot of success with Tampa instead of the San Francisco 49ers, the same organization in which he grew up idolizing, the same organization in which you see the young buck Tom Brady rocking the scarlet, red, and gold. And Tom Brady does have and has had a lot of Bay Area connections. At the end of the day, he grew up in San Mateo, Cali. He idolized Joe Montana and the 49ers as they were his favorite team growing up. And he was actually at Candlestick for the catch when Joe Montana linked up with Dwight Clark for that historic touchdown in the back of the end zone against the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game in 1982 in the 1981 season. Producer Coop, he's from Dallas. He just said sad in my ear for the San Francisco 49ers fans out there. San Francisco. Type F Dallas in the comments section. So with the 49ers missing out on Matthew Stafford, not going after Kirk Cousins, and not electing to go after Tom Brady, even though Kyle Shanahan wanted to, but he was talked out of it, do you think that the Niners made a mistake in not landing TB12, who's arguably the best quarterback of all time? A lot of Niner fans will say that Joe Montana is that guy. Some might say Tom Brady. Give me an M for mistake or an R for they made the right choice. Coming up next on the show, John Lynch in a press conference alongside assistant GM Adam Peters earlier this week did say that they're working on some contract extensions with some players. Did he hint, and does that mean that Nick Bosa is about to get paid, and could he get paid more than Aaron Donald? We're going to unpack that right around the corner. First, though, Thursday night, I was having an awesome time watching some college football with some of the homies here at Shout Sports. We were watching the Pitt, West Virginia game, which went absolutely bonkers, and then Penn State able to drive down the field late in the game to take down Purdue. And this weekend slate in college football, pretty good. You have that Oregon and Georgia game for the defending national champions, but this one is really of the national focus. Ohio State, Notre Dame, and the Buckeyes are 17-point favorites against the Fighting Irish, over-under set at 59 points. Some people might like Notre Dame to at least cover that big number. If you want to start betting on these college football games, or you want to get that sign up official and done with BetUS, our sportsbook partner, so that you can bet on week 1 of the NFL season, it's very simple. All you have to do, chatsports.com/49bet, enter the promo code Niners125 for a 125% deposit bonus. Next up on the show, is Nick Bosa about to get paid, and is John Lynch going to make him the highest paid defensive player in the history of the NFL, overtaking Aaron Donald's contract in which he signed with the Los Angeles Rams a couple of months ago? John Lynch in a press conference earlier this week did hint that the 49ers are working on contract extensions with players. He didn't specifically say that Nick Bosa, his agent, are having conversations with the Niners, but you would think that with Bosa going into the final year of his contract next year, as he's guaranteed between $17 and $18 million after getting that fifth year exercised, is about to get the bag. So I have to pose this question. How much is Nick Bosa worth? I think he's worth a lot, and I think there is a realistic scenario in which Bosa does get more money than Aaron Donald. He's younger at 24 years old. He's at one of the more premium positions on a football team. Outside of quarterback, you can make the argument that you need an edge rusher to be a true Super Bowl contender. And Nick Bosa is an absolute game wrecker who's at the peak of his powers. And the question becomes, because of him being younger, because of him having a better future than Aaron Donald, and his impact on this defense being as large as Donald, could Bosa get a bigger contract than him? You take a look at Bosa's 2 healthy seasons in the National Football League, and he solidified himself as one of the most dangerous defensive players that we've seen in recent memory. 2019, his rookie year, 16 tackles for loss, 25 quarterback hits, 9 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 2 pass breakups. Last year, coming off the ACL, even better. 21 tackles for loss, 32 quarterback hits, 15.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 1 pass breakup. Here is the deal that Aaron Donald got from the Rams coming off that Super Bowl. 3 years, $95 million in total money, average annual value 31.6, total guaranteed money 95. So that contract fully guaranteed. Here is my updated Nick Bosa contract projection, operating on the premise that because he's younger, in his mid-20s, he's going to get more years. So with that, in turn, he gets more money, both on an average annual value basis and from a total standpoint. But the total here, let's go $160 million, guaranteed money at $120. I think it's realistic, folks, that Bosa lands a deal like this going into next offseason. So with that, I do want to ask you this. Right now, in 2022, going into this year, who is the better player? AD for Aaron Donald, NB for the Bear Nick Bosa? Let me know right now in the comment section. And if you made it this far on today's show, you know what that means? You're a real one. Rocking my real one shirt for the first time. You can get yours in black as well as red on the merchandise tab right below this video and on this channel. Greatly appreciate all the support. Real One Squad. Get that into the comment section right now. Have a great weekend. And, of course, we'll provide you with coverage all throughout Labor Day weekend because the grind don't stop.